Hey there, gamers! Lately, it's not been easy. Quarantine's hard. Being all alone for so long. No one to talk to. No one to share a meal with. No one to play games with. The constant feeling of loneliness has been driving me to dark thoughts. How can I fight against this? I can't go outside. I have to stay responsible. Plus, I live in the UK, so statistically, going outside means getting an Insta-virus. What to do? What to do? Oh! I know. Let's do what I always do and get rid of all the loneliness and emptiness with a video game. A special game, dedicated solely to tricking my brain into thinking I'm not alone and give me a false sense of happiness.
Bullet ball.
It can't just be any trashy game like it usually is though. Now, as a big YouTuber, I have an audience to please, so I have to put some serious thought into this. Just kidding, I ain't got enough brain power to think cause I'm dumb as shit. I figured I could trick my brain into thinking I've got someone around by 1. Emitting a sound, and 2. Hearing a sound back, which would make my stupid brain think I was having a conversation. Dumb brain of mine, so easy to trick. So I knew the game had to do with sound, but before moving forward with this, knowing myself, I went online and looked for some C# code that could handle mic input, cause I would never be able to code something like that myself. Luckily, I came across this code snippet, link in the description. Once I got the mic code I found online to work, I started measuring mic inputs in decibels, and I wondered for a bit on what this game should be about. There are bundles of great inspiration of what I might do with voice control, but eventually I settled on this. A party game where each player has a certain amount of time to scream their lungs out and try to break as many virtual glasses, doing so in the progress. Once again, I took to my top of the class artistic skills and drew 6 different glasses so that the player has a variety of them to play with. Imported them into Unity, coded a bunch of very rubbish code, linked it to the mic input, and boom! Just like that, the core mechanic is finished. Now I can randomly scream like hell, making my neighbors think I'm either being attacked or going crazy. Neither one made them come and check on me though, those selfish, self-centered. Already, I was starting to feel a lot less lonely. I'm known to have a very clear and tier-oriented work ethics, so right after the core mechanic was in place, instead of polishing it out and continuing working on the gameplay, I started working on the main menu instead. Somehow, just creating the main menu UI took me about 4 days of evening work, as now I was stuck with having to draw everything by hand to keep the art style uniform. At least the work paid off, if you ask me. I made the theme to be a restaurant, and so the main menu is a dining table. Your plus and minus buttons for adding and subtracting players are plates with cutlery folded into the corresponding signs. Your play and exit buttons are handkerchiefs, and the how to play and music on off buttons are little vase decorations with fake ass flowers to save the restaurant some money. Have to think economically in these times, you know. Now this is supposed to be a party game, but currently none of the player UI buttons work and you get stuck with a single player experience. That's because we haven't coded any of the mechanics in yet. And boy oh boy, did I make a mistake by making this a party game. Coding in the multiplayer mechanic took me at least a whole week of evenings to write up, and in the end it doesn't even work the way I wanted, because whenever you go back to the main menu, your player list gets reset and so you have to write all the names back in again. This is some serious. Once I did have the mechanic in place, which was an easy peasy lemon squeezy process as I'm a professional programmer of course, I at least gave them a nice vegetable sprites to go with the rest of the theme. And then threw in a steak as well, just to piss off any vegans who might eventually play the game. I wasn't sure at first about the way the vegetables and the steak stack up on one another so that the clarity of how many players are in the scene and who is who doesn't get lost. So I decided to go onto one of my most favorite subreddits, which has a community in which I'm a valued and well-known member, for I have posted many liked content pieces in there, and asked what they thought about the way it looked. And the next day I woke up, I couldn't believe my eyes. J.K. Rowling herself, who is a big member of that subreddit community, wrote me a message, or a DM, as the kids like to say these days. Rather than paraphrasing her beautiful words, let me read you the whole message here on the screen.
Dear Bulbasaur Yara, pleased to see such a talented fellow member of my favorite subreddit.
I know my talent is nowhere near yours, but if you'd let me, I'd be honored to help you with the game. I love the way that vegetable and steak stacks on top of each other, and I think there is a story behind why they do it. I believe that behind the scenes of what the player sees on their screens, these vegetable pieces have a passionate romantic homosexual relationship, not unlike some of my popular characters from the Wizarding world. I am writing a short backstory about how these vegetable characters met, and, like I said, I'd be honored to gift it to you, dear Bulbasaur Yara, to serve as a lore for your amazing and progressive game. If you are interested, please DM me back and I'll send you the details.
Wow. Now isn't that amazing, you guys? I of course immediately replied back to get the rest of the story, and I'm currently waiting for a response, so once it comes through, I'll definitely add a link to the whole story Joe promised us. After this, I went back to working on the core game. I made prefabs out of each of the glass, and then created a nice space background to pay tribute to SpaceX's first human trip to space, as well as later on adding this beach background, which, for legal purposes, does not have anything in common with any individuals who might be living in a pineapple under the sea. I repeat, nothing to do with those creatures, remember that, okay? I also added a portal animation which was supposed to be spawning the glasses once they got destroyed, so that there will be some logic behind how you get the new ones in, but I failed miserably at coding in solid spawning animation mechanisms, so I just gave that up and kept it at just spawning the glass as it is now. I did a bit more coding, only about like 18 hours or so. Added some sweet glass shard particles using Unity's particle system. Added a slight delay between the glass being destroyed and a new one appearing, and the end product is looking a bit like this. Your warm-up time, then you start screaming, your glass starts breaking. Sounds added from the final version. No way I had them done at this stage. Remember, I'm slow and inefficient. Then, a second layer, a new glass appears, hopefully a different one from the previous one, but no promises there, with different break level thresholds. Then you scream again, rinse, repeat, and after 60 seconds, either player 2 takes his turn, or you get taken to a score table. All of the previous things you could see on the screen worked like a charm on the first try, of course. In fact, I'm so efficient in coding everything perfectly on the first try that I put together a Udemy course where I'm going to teach you the techniques I use to be this awesome. So definitely go check it out, preview right here on the screen. By the way, if you're concerned with the glitchy portal animation, don't worry. It only took me 2 hours of bug squashing before I realized that my Z position on that portal is the same as the background, and so sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's just flickering, you know, great stuff, great stuff. An interesting thing happened here at this point. As I thought about the theme the score table could take, being all happy I'm nearing a finish point in making this game, I realized I don't actually have a system in place that would track the scores. Surprisingly, I managed to code the whole score system really fast, or at least really fast for my usual time spans. And that was all thanks to this amazing pack of coffee beans a friend of mine gifted to me. It's coffee beans which went through the guts of the bats, which makes it a lot more expensive for some reason. It's like, what the hell? Am I right? How does eating your beans and then pumping them out make them more expensive? That's ludicrous. You're just making them more disgusting. Who in their right mind would ever buy a drink made out of something like this? Like, holy... So anyway, I now have my own brand of coffee beans. They are called Crab Beans, to fit our Crab Games branding name, and are available across the whole of UK and US, so order now. Deliciousness guaranteed, or your money back. Now that we had the score system in place, I could get back to my most favorite activity of them all, drawing, and create the score table scene. As you can see, I decided that the scoreboard will be an abandoned wine cellar with a bunch of cheeses, wine bottles and glasses and whiskies, as well as some cobwebs and 2 beautifully hand-drawn ham buttons. And each regale will be a place for displaying a player name, score and rank. Oh yeah, the player rank. So many great memories spending hours upon hours coding this crap in. I really should go get a Udemy course or something to stop sucking so much. But yeah, now we have a functioning game that should help me get rid of my loneliness and depression. Let's have some people over and play test. So, did you like this game? Woo!
Man, what the fuck? That's fucking garbage. What the fuck?
Bam, 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 bam. What the fuck was he thinking? What a piece of shit.
Well, I for one really liked it. I thought it was a great game, and I don't know what the other two were saying. The game itself didn't really rid me of my loneliness, but having some people over definitely did, and they wouldn't come without me using the game as a means to invite them over, so all in all, my verdict is that the game did help me with my depression, and we have thus 100% achieved the goal we set for ourselves at the beginning of this video. Yay for us! I mean, you did jack shit apart from just sitting there and staring at your screen, so it's more like yay for me, but whatever. That being said, please keep on watching my videos. Go demolish that subscribe button. Play the game. If Google ever lets me publish it on the Play Store. God damn it, Google, I don't have any depictions of Kim Jong-un in my game. Stop suggesting I do! Links in the description, by the way. Till the next time, see you later. Whoa, a post-credit scene? Are we in a Marvel movie or what? Anyway, you can watch 2 of my previous videos by clicking here. You can subscribe by clicking here. And you can join my social media by clicking on one of these. I just started them, so there is nothing there.